Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today, my group and me will briefly present how global plastic waste directly threatens Malaysia's marine ecosystem. So, this is our group member. First of all, introduction. Our primary maritime gateway, Port Klang, receives massive amounts of imported plastic under the guise of recycling. Unfortunately, a significant portion of this waste leaks into illegal recycling centers in nearby Jenjaru. Lacking proper filtration, these facilities dump toxic chemical runoff and microplastics directly into the Klang River, which carries them straight into the Straits of Malacca, one of the busiest and most sensitive shipping lanes in the world. This pollution severely impacts our coastal communities and fisheries. Our report addresses these legal loopholes to protect our coastlines, support the national marine litter policy, and secure a sustainable blue economy for the future.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Amraki bin Jara Amin. My matrix number is 75614. Today, I would like to talk about the background of Port Klang. Port Klang is the Malaysian business port and it faces a big problem with plastic pollution. The Klang River carries millions of kilograms of household, industry and package waste into the sea every year. Weak waste management and illegal dumping make the situation worse. Port and ship activities also add the pollution through the packaging waste, edible fish gear, and microplastic. Many stakeholders are involving, such as Department of Environment, Klang Municipal Council, Port Klang Authority, industry, NGO and local community. Plastic pollution reduces fish stock, harms biodiversity, damages tourism and tears the health of coastal residents. Malaysia is one of the world's top contributors to the marine plastic, and Port Klang is a symbol of this challenge. Cooperate from all parties is needed to reduce plastic leak and protect the marine ecosystem.
Next, I will present about policy analysis. In this analysis, we have two type framework that we search. First is national level framework and the second is international level framework. In national level framework, there are three framework. First is Zero Single-Use Plastic 2018 until 2030. This framework led by MRES to phase out single-use plastic through domestic plastic bag charge and biodegradable innovation. And second is National Marine Litter Action Plan 2021 until 2023. This framework focuses on according waste collection in critical zone, which is river, estuaries, beaches and islands, using trash traps. And then next is Environmental Quality Act 1974, which is section 25. This framework gives full authority to the Department of Environment, which is DOE, to prosecute factories illegally dumping waste into rivers. Next we will go to the international level framework. First is MARPOL compliance, which is Annex 5. Here we can see the MARPOL strictly prohibits plastic waste disposal from cargo or tanker ship, mandating delivery to port reception facilities. Next is ASEAN Regional Action Plan. Their cross-border collaboration to curb transboundary marine debris drifting in the Strait of Malacca and EEZ through joint research and strictly monitoring. In conclusion, combining marine plastic pollution requires a unified approach. The success of this initiative relies heavily on combining strict domestic law enforcement such as monitoring industrial waste and critical zone, which complies to international standard, which is MARPOL, and cross-border collaboration with ASEAN neighbors. Only through this synergy between national and global framework can our marine ecosystem and territory waters be sustainably perceived for the long term.
Although Malaysia has introduced several national and international frameworks to address marine plastic pollution, several limitations remain. At the national level, Malaysia's roadmap towards zero single-use plastics 2018 to 2023 focuses largely on behavioral change and voluntary industry participations rather than stronger regulatory enforcement. This limits its effectiveness in controlling industrial and maritime-related plastic leakage. Additionally, the National Marine Litter Policy and Action Plan faces implementation challenges due to overlapping responsibilities among government agencies, resulting in inconsistent monitoring and enforcement. At the international level, however, MARPOL Annex 5 only regulates ship-generated waste and does not adequately address land-based sources, which remain the dominant contributor to marine plastic pollution in Port Klang. Similarly, in ASEAN Regional Action Plan of Combating Marine Debris, regional cooperation and information sharing is strong. However, its effectiveness is limited because participation and implementation depends on individual member states. Since the framework does not impose legally binding obligations or enforcement mechanisms, progress across Asian countries remain uneven.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Azmi Izanif bin Arif and my metric number is S75547. For this slide, I will explain the impact of marine plastic pollution in Port Klang. Firstly, the environmental impact. Marine plastic pollution causes serious damage to marine ecosystem and biodiversity. Marine animals such as turtle and fish can become trapped in plastic waste or accidentally consume microplastics. Plastic pollution also damage important habitats such as mangroves, seagrass beds, and coral reef, leading to long-term environmental degradation. Secondly, the economic impact. Plastic pollution negatively affects industries that depend on the marine environment. The fishing industry experiences reduced fish stocks and lower catch, which decrease fishermen's income. In addition, polluted beach and coastal water reduce tourist arrivals, causing losses to local businesses. The environment also needs to spend more money on cleanup and restoration efforts. Thirdly, the human health impact. Harmful chemical released from plastic can enter the food chain through seafood consumption. The chemicals may cause hormone disruption and are a long-term health problem. Furthermore, toxic fumes from illegal plastic recycling activities can contribute to respiratory and skin diseases among nearby communities. The fourth impact is the social impact. Marine plastic pollution reduces the quality of the life of coastal communities. Fishermen and tourism operators may face financial difficulties due to declining marine resources. It can also create conflict among different stakeholders and reduce public confidence to waste management systems. Lastly, the impact of maritime operation. Floating plastic debris can become entangled in ship propeller, shipping equipment, and port machinery. This increases maintenance costs, disrupts operations, and may threaten navigation safety. As one of Malaysia's busiest ports, continued pollution can also affect Port Klang's environmental reputation. In conclusion, marine plastic pollution has significant environmental, economic, health, social, and marine impacts. Therefore, strong waste management practices, public awareness, and cooperation among all stakeholders are essential to protect the marine environment and achieve sustainable development. Thank you.
Moving on to our recommendation, we'll start with policy improvement. First, the government needs to tighten environmental policies to limit the production of low recyclability plastics. Second, we recommend implementing extended producer responsibility or EPR. This essentially holds manufacturers accountable for the entire life cycle of their packaging and forcing them to design more sustainable alternatives. Lastly, we should introduce price-based economic disincentives like plastic taxes and disposal fees to discourage excessive plastic usage by both industries and everyday consumers. Next, let's look at the management strategies. The immediate priority here is infrastructure. We need to physically stop plastic from entering our waterway by expanding recycling facilities and disposal system directly in coastal area. Furthermore, authorities shouldn't just manage the trash. They need to actively finance the incentive, the 4Rs, which is recycling, reusing, rethinking, and reducing. The last recommendation is stakeholder involvement, because solving this requires a team effort from every sector. For government and port authorities, it's about enforcement, ensuring everyone actually complies with waste regulations. For the private sector, specifically shipping and industry company operating at the port, they need to phase out non-recyclable plastic in their day-to-day operations. And finally, we need to leverage the power of civil society by partnering with environmental NGOs and local communities. We can run awareness campaign and community cleanups that foster long-term environmental stewardship.
To conclude, the plastic crisis at Port Klang and Jenjarong is a stark reminder that economic growth should not come at the expense of our environment and coastal communities. While Malaysia has strong policies on paper, such as our National Marine Litter Policy and International MARPOL agreements, the reality on the ground is a critical enforcement gap. Illegal recycling plants continues to operate, toxic chemicals still bleed into our rivers, and the Straits of Malacca remain highly vulnerable. Solving this requires moving away from a fragmented approach. We must bridge the gap between port authorities, local municipalities, and federal enforcement agencies to create a unified front. Only by closing these operational and legal loopholes can Malaysia truly protect public health, honor its global environmental commitments, and secure a sustainable blue economy for the generations yet to come. That's all from us. Thank you.